I believed in everything that I was doing. I believe in America. I, but after this week, I just realized they don't give a fuck about me. So my name is Chelsea. I worked for NIH. I was hired in July of 2023. I was recruited from the EPA to work in the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute and Workforce Development. I served in the military from 2010 to 2018 and then came back in the Department of the Air Force, working on base, and then became working at NIH. And I love my job. I have a PhD in psychology. I have a master's in behavioral analysis, and I specialized in making sure our scientists were getting the correct resources, and supporting them. It was a job that really helped me figure out who I wanted to be when I grew up, I guess, and a job I love to do. It's always been about the mission for me and never been anything about a paycheck. I love who I get to support and the people.
Hi, I'm Karen. I was recently let go from the FDA. I was an education specialist in a learning and professional development branch. Part of what we would do is help assessors get the correct training so that they were able to accurately do their jobs, especially new assessors coming on staff, get them ramped up to speed so they were able to be full performers as quickly as possible. I worked with a fantastic group, highly educated group of folks that were hired purely on merit, competed very heavily for this job. I have my doctorate in education as well, and I'm an Air Force veteran, just like Chelsea. I served from 2000 to 2007, and back then I was an intelligence analyst.
It's not about losing this paycheck. It's about losing a mission that I support that helps keep people alive. I'm not just a veteran, I'm also a disabled veteran. I have PTSD, but I've worked through a lot to get to where I am, and this job helped me get through some of the darkest days in my life. Um, it helped me find myself again. The people, you could not have a better group of individuals to work with at NHLBI. The missions that they support are so important. I mean, the research is just amazing. And to leave that, it's heartbreaking. Just randomly got an email at 5:20 in the morning that says that I, as of June 2nd, will not be in federal service anymore. And then at 5:45, I got another email that said, but your job is really critical, so we need you to keep working until June 2nd. But I'm not critical enough to keep the research that we do. I mean, we are the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. And if the program analysts aren't there to help with moving that along, moving that project, and one, just recognizing the people that are doing that project, how is it going to continue?
I received an email at 5:15 in the morning that said I was being targeted for the reduction in force across the department. And normally in a reduction in force, there's this procedure where they look at your tenure and stuff like veteran status, disabled veteran status, and they kind of rack and stack and decide who they can keep based on that. Well, they're doing this reduction in force in a way that they're eliminating entire offices. So when I shared earlier that they got rid of the entire, all the training branches out of the FDA, every trainer is gone, every professional development individual is gone. So there was nowhere to rack and stack and kind of hang on to anybody. I felt all the things Chelsea felt. I'm also a disabled veteran. I also have PTSD. I will just share this, I've had to go back on medication to manage symptoms.
And what sucks is like, with everything going on this week at work, this has put me back into a headspace that I don't want to be a part of. It's opening up wounds that like I had fought so hard to close?
I mean, I do want to first admit there probably are some redundancies um, in some areas, but we already have and have had in place a system which helped to mitigate that, to cut staff where it needed to be cut. They've been I first served as a civilian in the Navy, and then the Coast Guard, and now with FDA. And in each of those areas, I watched billets get eliminated more than once, not because somebody was fired, but because when somebody left, they realized, we don't need to really replace this person. We can distribute the workload to the rest of the staff. So processes are already in place for stuff like that.
That was literally my job. I was there to make our scientists, researchers, doctors more efficient because I am somebody that was brought in because I can see where redundancies are. I can see where I can make people's job more efficient. I
Mhm.
created those programs to help their job be more efficient. If they want to understand the government and how to make it more efficient, ask us.
Mhm.
Ask the question because efficiency is literally my job. I am here to make their job easier
Mhm.
so that they can continue the research while I do everything else so that they don't have to go scrounging for it, for that resource, for that thing that they need to do their job. They call me when they want to know, how can I make this easier for me? How can I make this easier for our researchers? How can I mitigate this? What can I do to make my job more efficient? Cool. Let me look at all your stuff and I'll tell you how.
I did sign up to join the Air Force. I was actually 17 when I joined. I left, 2 weeks after I turned 18. And I have dedicated over 20 years now of my life to public service, whether it's been active duty or as a contractor right alongside the military or now as a government civilian. And although there is just a touch of relief that the day-to-day back and forth whiplash, will I have a job, won't I have a job, like I'm glad I'm out of that phase. I am distraught because I have been working my whole life towards this position, and I love the people that I help. I love to serve the American public. I love to help educate people. It drives me. I have a passion for just helping others. And when I'm not able to pursue that passion anymore, at least in the public service, I'm not sure who I am. And I kind of feel like I'm losing my identity in that.
I had multiple people telling me, oh, you're a veteran, you'll be fine. You're a 10-point veteran, you have disability, you'll be safe, you're good. I wish I had that. Because, and I have people like, you deserve that because you sacrificed for this country. You're a number, and
Mm.
that's it. You're just a number. Because that's literally how they fucking did it. They just looked at numbers. They didn't look at people. They didn't look at what we do. They used SAC codes, which are literally numbers and letters.